Guten Tag, Deutschland. I'm Richard Osman. I'm the author of the Thursday Murder Club novels. There's 4 of them so far. I'm going to take you through what they're about. The first one, the Thursday Murder Club itself, is set in a retirement community. You've got 4 friends who meet up once a week to look over old unsolved cases, and then a real body turns up on their doorstep, and they investigate and they solve the crimes. They're detectives, and the books from then on, there's more and more trouble, essentially. More and more murders, more and more bodies turn up, and our friends, who are very unlikely friends, one of them, Elizabeth, used to be a spy, one of them, Joyce, was a nurse, there's Ron, who was a labour activist, and Ibrahim, who was a psychiatrist. So the 4 of them are very unlikely friends, and they all have very, very different skills, but they form an incredible gang. They are all older, so actually they're sort of invisible in the way that we make older people invisible in our cultures. So they're sort of invisible but incredibly wise, which makes them incredible detectives. The books are hopefully thrilling, funny, I think. There's full of British humour. If you like British humour, you're in luck. If you don't like British humour, it might not be for you, but I know you do. I know we share a sense of humour. Funny, sad, thrilling, I hope, and they've sold great numbers in Germany, which absolutely thrills me. To be a success in Germany is great. I would never have imagined it, but listen, we can always sell more books, can't we? So the new one, which I would call The Last Devil to Die, I'm assuming there's going to be a little subtitle telling you what it is in German. That's out right now.
The German title is
I won't be able to do it properly.
Der Donnerstagsmordclub, oder Ein Teufel, stirbt immer, zuletzt.
Yeah, I'm getting nowhere near that, Axel.
And it will be out end of November.
Yeah.
And as far as I understood, it's a perfect book for end of November.
Yeah, the book starts around Christmas, actually. This new one, it starts on Boxing Day. Do you have Boxing Day in Germany, the day after Christmas? We call it 26th of December. We call it Boxing Day, okay? You call it whatever you choose. So it's Boxing Day. So everyone's just had their Christmas. But a drug dealer takes this as a useful day to smuggle heroin in through one of the British ports, because it's the day after Christmas, so who's checking lorries? So this consignment comes into the port, very quickly goes missing, very quickly leads to a death, and the Thursday Murder Club are connected with the person who dies, and so they have to track down the murderer. They also have to find this consignment of drugs, which causes absolute chaos upon its journey across the UK, and it's an emotional book as well. So plenty of murders, don't worry about that. Plenty of humour, don't worry about that. But we find out an awful lot more about our characters. So plenty of emotion, plenty of tears, but also a thrilling journey as we try and track down this consignment of drugs.
I mean, more or less the first question with book series nowadays is, can I start with the first book and go to the older books, or must I first read the older books that I get the new book? Yeah.
I think with the Thursday Murder Club series, you definitely can read any of them individually. They're better if you read them from 1 through to 4. So the first one is Der Donnerstagsmordclub. It's better if you do that, but I think all of them have their own story, their own self-contained story. But I think by the 4th book, if you followed the characters and you followed their friendships and you followed the things that have happened to them, I think it packs more of an emotional punch. But you must read what you want to read. That's the way I always think. And if you pick up a book and like the look of it, just buy it and read it. But why not pick up the first one and read that first? And then, you might have a favourite new series.
Yes, I mean, they are all bestsellers. I mean, they are huge hits in Great Britain and in other countries. But can you talk a little bit about the inspiration, because it's a personal story with it, I know.
The inspiration from the books comes. My mum lives in a retirement village in Sussex, in England, in the south of England, and every time I would go there, I would be struck by how interesting the people around her were. Everyone was over 75. They'd all done extraordinary things in their lives. They'd all achieved amazing things. They all had certain wisdoms. And I thought that was a group of people who were underrepresented in books, and certainly underrepresented as heroes. And so I wanted to write a book where they became detectives, where I didn't patronise them to say, oh, aren't they clever, aren't they sweet, but actually I painted them as real human beings, but real human beings doing extraordinary things and having new adventures and making new friendships as well, which I think is why the books have sold so well everywhere in the world, because we all feel that. Every single culture feels that we abandon older people and we ignore older people, and that we should celebrate older people more. And when you get this group of four like I've got, who sort of gel together so well, and everyone's got a favourite and everyone's got one that they think they're the most like, then I think, you know, that's a winning formula.
I mean, with older detectives, we got Miss Marple, who's very famous also here in Germany. And do you think that you write in this tradition from these cozy mysteries, Agatha Christie mysteries?
It's impossible to be a British writer, a British crime writer, and not love Agatha Christie. And, you know, Agatha Christie was underestimated for many, many years. People thought she wrote cozy crimes or sort of gentle crimes, and of course she didn't. She wrote incredibly interesting stories about evil and about Britain as it was and about the class system, and that's why they endure, and that's why people still read them today. And I hope that that's what I'm doing as well. I hope I'm writing something that feels like an entertainment. You know, you certainly keep turning the pages, but actually at the end you also think, oh, okay, I've sort of thought slightly differently about the country that I live in when I finish the book, and so, you know, if I could channel the spirit of Agatha Christie, it would be in that way, which would be entertain people, but at the same time tell us a bit about the world we live in.
And next question, I mean, this is a Christmas mystery, and a lot of British, or there are a lot of crime novels who are also take place at Christmas. What do you think about it? And
yeah, it's not really a Christmas mystery, this one. It just starts after Christmas.
Okay.
Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, this Christmas mystery is a huge thing when the whole family comes together. Everybody hates each other and they murder one of them, and the detective goes on. For sure.
Yeah, this book starts at Christmas, and Christmas is a perfect time for murder because we're all with our families, aren't we? And what better time than with our families for a murder? You know what I'm talking about.
Yes. And I think now the last question. Last year you said there are plans to make a film about the series. Is there any development in it?
Yeah, the film is going to start shooting in 2024, hopefully spring 2024. So that's really, really exciting. I'm very much looking forward to seeing that come out. You never know with movies how long they take, but yeah, it's all going ahead. The director's on board, and everything. So long as all the strikes finish, we should be okay.
So this is then a US production, not a British production?
Well, it'll be in Britain, but it's an American production company, yeah.
I mean, you mentioned the strike from the actors, and
I don't know who will be in it or anything like that. They don't tell me.
We'll see what happens, and it's a release for cinema.
It should be, but again, who knows? If I had more details, I'd tell you, I promise.
Okay.
Brilliant. Thank you, Axel.
Yeah.
Much appreciated. Now we can get some tea and cake.
In a minute.